Okay, good morning. Today, I think we have page 105, compound words. What do you mean by compound words? What do you mean by compound words?
كلمات مركبة.
يعني words come together. Words that come together. Now let's look at number 1 here. Use a word from the first column and one from the second column to make a one-word or two-word compound. Okay. Number 1. إسراء.
دكتور work work جوابها حيكون بس ثواني دكتور workland.
Workland?
لا والله غلط.
We don't say workland, yes.
ثواني دكتور اني عجقت. قصدي اللي حدا يحلها.
اوكي. أنفال؟
workplace.
يا ممكن نقول workplace. شو كمان ممكن نقول؟ What can we also say? يا إسراء. Workplace. طبعا كل واحد ممكن يكون أكثر من خيار، ممكن تحط أكثر من خيار، أوكي؟ قلنا workplace. What can also we say? Work what?
ممكن fire الدكتور.
What?
fire.
Work fire. هذيك fire work.
اوكي.
fire work.
yes.
ممكن كمان نقول work إيش؟ work report. We can say work report. Okay. Number 2. Sarah?
search party.
Yes, we can say search party. Okay. Next. Amne?
fire place.
ممكن نقول yes fireplace. fireplace. شو كمان ممكن نقول؟ إيناس؟
food production.
فاير نفس فاير نقدر كمان نستخدم مع كلمات ثانية.
firework.
firework yes. firework. إذا ممكن نقول fireplace وfirework. next. next. Amne?
food production.
Yeah, we say food production. Yes. Next. Amne?
health way.
halfway, yes.
halfway.
Yeah, we can say halfway. Halfway. Next. Sarah?
sunlight.
Yes, we can say sunlight. Sunlight. Yes. Next. Next. Sarah?
house worker.
Yes, house worker. وشو كمان نقدر نقول؟ housework, houseworker or housework. Next. Next. Amna?
research, report,
Yes, we say research report. Mhm. Next. Ines.
garbage فينا نحكي land أو place
Garbage place ممكن.
ولاند ممكن دكتور
بس ممكن garbage land. ممكن كمان ايش؟ garbage bag. Garbage bag. Next. Sarah?
farmland
Farmland, yes. ممكن كمان نقول farm ايش؟ farm.
ممكن نحط معها بليس دكتور
farm place.
بس ما بتزبط صح لا ما بتزبط
No. نقدر نقول farm production.
صح بتزبط هيك
كمان نقدر نقول farm ايش؟ worker. يعني somebody who works in a farm. Okay. إذا نسميه compound. Okay, compound words. يعني compound. They consist of one word or more than one word. Okay. They consist of more than one word. Okay. Page 106, connecting words. Use and to connect sentences from the first column with a sentence from the second column. Use comma before and. Write your answers on a separate piece of paper. Number one. Number one. Yes. Number one. Amne?
studying all the garbage can teach us about دكتور شو آخر كلمتين؟
Ancient societies.
Ancient societies. Studying fresh garbage can touch us about modern society.
Society. طبعا لازم نستخدم we should use and. Okay. And.
Yes.
Then we say studying all garbage can teach us about ancient societies, comma, لازم نستخدم comma هنا برضه, and studying fresh garbage can teach us about modern society. إذا هنا بنعمل connection between the first sentence and the second sentence by using and. Okay. أنفال?
Students in the garbage project wear safety equipment and they open bags of garbage very carefully.
Good. Then students in the garbage project wear safety equipment, comma, and they open bags of garbage very carefully. Next. Next. Amna? Yes.
We dispose of regular garbage in regular landfills.
Yes. Then,
comma, and we should dispose of hazardous waste in special landfills or by recycle. recycling.
Then we say we dispose of regular garbage in regular landfills, comma, and we should dispose of hazardous waste in special landfills or by recycling. Next. Next. Amna.
Hazardous waste continuous
Poisonous chemicals.
poisonous chemicals. We must keep it out of
Regular
landfills.
Then hazardous waste contains poisonous chemicals, comma, and we must keep it out of regular landfills. لازم استخدم comma to make connection between the two sentences. Okay. Next. Anfal.
The poison inside batteries can go to the bottom of a regular landfill and it can pollute the natural water in the ground.
Even the poison inside batteries can go to the bottom of regular landfills and it can pollute the natural water in the ground. And now we make two sentences, one sentence. And we have two parts of the sentence. The first sentence we have independent clause, the second sentence about dependent clause. They are joined by ايش by and. نقدر نعتبر نسميهم ايش compound sentences. إذا we make compound sentences by using ايش coordinated conjunctions. طبعا and عبارة عن ايش coordinated conjunction. So coordinated conjunctions في عندنا 7 coordinated conjunctions اللي هم نسميهم fan boys اللي هو الألف for والA and والN nor الB but الO or والY it والS so. ولكم نسميهم ايش؟ نسميهم coordinated conjunctions. طبعا we use these coordinated conjunctions ايش؟ to make compound sentences. شو يعني compound sentences؟ يعني sentence بتكون فيها two clauses.
Sentence have independent and dependent clause.
عندنا طبعا both have the independent clauses. هذا بالنسبة للcompound sentence. Compound sentence يعني two independent. شو يعني independent؟ يعني each clause gives meaning by itself. في عندنا نوع ثاني من السنتنس اسمه complex sentences. Complex sentences يكون في عندنا dependent و independent. اوكي؟ مثلا because زي مثلا because I got early, comma I could catch the first bus. هنا because I arrived early هنا عبارة عن dependent clause. I could catch the first bus تعتبر independent clause. إذا في عندنا two types or three types of sentences. Simple sentences يعني simple sentence بتكون فيها subject to verb. في عندنا second type نسميه compound sentences. Compound sentence يعني sentence has two parts نسميهم clause في عندنا two clauses وكل clause بيكون independent joined by ايش الclauses joined by coordinated conjunctions حكينا عنهم في boys. The third type of sentences is called complex sentence. Complex بيكون فيها two clauses وفيها one clause بيكون dependent والsecond clause بيكون independent. Okay. Now main idea. What is the main idea of paragraph 6? Look at paragraph 6. Go back to paragraph 6. طبعا lines 45. Then what's the main idea in paragraph 6? إسراء.
إنه our homes have hazardous waste يعني إنه أثرت عليها النفايات وجعلتها بخطر.
What kind of waste?
What kind of waste؟ مش عارفة صراحة دكتور بس إنه كانت الفكرة اللي جت في بالي.
Then what is the main idea of paragraph 6? And what does it talk about?
Hazardous wastes in our houses.
Like what?
Batteries.
Batteries. Then it talks about hazardous waste like batteries. Yani why are batteries considered hazardous waste? Why are batteries considered hazardous waste? Okay. And this is the what? The main idea in paragraph 6. Now open your books, page 109. 109. In a crossword puzzle here. Now let's fill in the what? In the cross puzzle here by completing the sentences with the appropriate word. Now let's look at the crosswords. Crosswords. Number 3. Yes, number 3. Anfal?
Another word for dangerous is hazardous.
Hazardous, okay. Then another word for dangerous is what? Hazardous. أنا بحطه برقم 3 across the puzzle, yes. Next. Number 7. Anfal?
More than half of something is a majority.
Majority, yes. يعني مثلا نقول عندنا 15 مثلا 20 students لو قلنا 10 مثلا نقول هذا majority أو more than 10 نقول مثلا لو كان 15 out of 20 نقول majority. This what is the majority of what? Of the students. Okay. And a majority is what? More than half. Okay. Next. Next. أنفال.
People who study old things are called archaeologists.
Archaeologists, yes. Even people who study all things are called archaeologists. Archaeologists. Okay, next. Okay, next. Anfal.
The opposite of negative is positive.
Yes, the opposite of negative is positive. Okay, next. Next. Anfal.
Your aunts, uncles, and cousins are your relatives.
Relatives, yes. Then your aunts, uncles, and cousins are your relatives. Next. Yes, Anfal.
The roots of a plant are usually under the ground.
Then the roots, yes, of a plant are usually under the ground. Now let's look at the downwards. Number 1. Yes, number 1. Anfal.
The opposite of ancient is modern.
Modern, yes. The opposite of ancient is what? Is modern. Next. Next. Anfal.
A chronic pain is a long-lasting pain.
Then a chronic pain is a long-lasting pain. Next. Number 4. People who study how societies work are called, what do you call them? We call them sociologists. What do you call them? Sociologists. Sociologists. Next. Next. Another word for slowly is what? Slowly.
quick.
لا slowly. لما نقول another مش
آه.
opposite. Okay. آمنة.
Yes, doctor.
What is another word for slowly? مرت معنا بالreading article. يعني هنا السينونيمous slowly. يعني another word that has the same meaning as slowly. It is what? It is gradually. Then gradually is similar in meaning to slowly. Next. What do you call a person who cannot read? أنفال?
An illiterate person.
Yes, illiterate, yes. We say an illiterate person. Next. Yes. The opposite of full is what?
Empty.
Empty, yes, empty. Good. Now page 110, working with word forms. Fill in the chart with the missing forms of each word. Write an X if the form does not exist. يعني destroy is a verb. طبعا الnoun destruction والadjective destructive. What about recharge? What's the noun of recharge? Recharge, noun, recharge. The adjective?
Rechargeable.
Rechargeable, yes, rechargeable. Dispose, what's the noun? What's the noun from dispose?
ممكن بنزيد لها دكتور ION بتصير disposition شيء زي هيك.
Yes, disposition, yes. Disposition. The adjective?
بالإيدي.
Disposable.
Disposable, yes, disposable. Yes. Surprising. Does it has a verb? Surprising?
Surprise.
Surprise, yes. A noun?
Surprise as well.
Surprise also, okay. Surprise, surprise. What about literacy? Does it has a verb?
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't have a verb, yes. Does it have an adjective?
Literate.
Literate, yes, literate. Literate. Hazard. Does it have a verb, hazard? Does it have a verb? ها
لا دكتور ما
لا.
لها غير.
إذا no verb. Adjective
hazardous.
hazardous. Yes, hazardous. Protection, does it have a verb? Protection.
protect.
Protect, yes. طب adjective
protected يمكن ولا غلط؟
protective. Protective.
صح protected.
Protective, yes. Okay, now. Your dictionary has sample sentences to help you understand differences in meaning. For example, industrious, industrial, both طبعا are adjectives. طبعا there's industrious. Industrious, industrial adjective, but they have different meaning. And you can't use the two adjectives the same meaning. However, they are not used in the same way. Even has industrious, industrial, both are adjectives. Like when using them, they are different. Okay. Look at the examples here. Ali is wealthy because he is so industrious. Tokyo is a modern industrial city. You know, industrious has a different meaning from what? From industrial. Now use the information on this page to help you complete these sentences. Look at the example here. Foods or floods and earthquakes can cause a lot of destruction. We should use a noun. اللي هو إيش? Destruction. Number one. أنفال.
Most parents will do everything they can to protect their children from harm.
مظبوط. إذا we use here what part of speech?
A verb.
Verb. Then most parents will do everything they can do to protect their children from harm. Next. أنفال.
A literate person can read and write.
A literate person can read and write. Can read and write. Literate. Okay. Next. Next. أنفال.
Hazardous materials are dangerous.
Hazardous materials. What part of speech do you use here?
An adjective.
Adjective, yes. Next. Next. أنفال.
It is important for people to dispose of their waste in ways that will not harm the environment.
Yes, it's important for people to dispose of their waste. Dispose, yani get rid of. Okay. Now we are done with what? With unit 2. Now lesson 4, I think. Now we'll start a new chapter or unit. Unit 3, mismatch. Sorry, mishmash. أو هجبك طبعا. This is not. This is not part of our of the lessons. وهنبدأ lesson 3. Lesson 3. له page 132. طبعا this فين التايتل languages and language diversity. Well, this is what the title. What does this title tell you? What does this title tell you?
عن اللغات وتنوعها دكتور.
يعني this tells us that we have what languages, many languages. وشو كمان differences in languages. Okay. يعني ايش؟ differences in languages. Now, what language do you speak? طبعا, you know that. You speak what? Arabic. Okay. How is your first language different from English? How is your first language different from English?
It has different characters and different ways of pronouncing letters.
Yes. It has different characters and different ways of what? Of pronouncing the words, but it has a different way of writing. برضو عندنا alphabets, more alphabets than other languages. برضو structure of the languages برضو is different most of the time. The ways of writing برضو is different, okay, from English. How many languages do you think there are in the world?
12 يمكن.
How many?
12.
Only 12 languages in the world?
There are millions of languages.
No, not millions. We can say
thousands of
Thousands.
Talking about
Thousands,
the
yes.
start of forming this earth. If we count all the languages, it can reach a million.
والله it's not يعني we are not sure. But we can say
I read a research about that, so
and it says that you can count up to 1 million.
yes, around 1 million.
Maybe. But يعني بنكون بالسيف سايد بنقول thousands of languages. Thousands of languages. Okay. Now context clues. The words in bold print below are from this lesson. Use context clues to guess what each word means. Number 1. Yes. Number 1. أمثال.
It is smart to be afraid of some things. For example, being afraid of poisonous spiders is logical. It makes sense.
Where are you now? Where? What are you reading?
Context clues, number 1.
Yes. Number 1. إذا في عندنا هنا.
It's smart,
Read the sentence here.
it's smart to be afraid of some things.
No.
For
Read
example,
No, read the sentence.
the words in bold.
All the sentence.
I did read all the sentence. It's smart to be afraid of some things. For example, being afraid of poisonous spiders is logical. Logical here is
وين تقرأي أنت؟ وين تقرأي؟
number 1.
وين? Which page?
123. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
133.
Okay, I'm sorry.
923, yes. Context
All
clues.
languages.
Yes.
All languages have rules for forming words and for ordering those words into sentences. Structuring maybe words.
Forming means إيش؟ Structuring أو making. Okay. For making words and for ordering. Next. Even forming means here making. Okay. Next. أنفال.
People invent new words for the language and borrow words from other languages. Take.
Borrow means take. Okay. Or bring words from other languages. Next.
أجاوب أنا دكتور.
Yes.
Specialist يعني متخصص. Someone who has knowledge on something.
منين جبتي الجملة؟
صح أنت حكيت دكتور المعاني اللي بعد القطع بيجوا.
لا احنا قلنا page 133 context clues.
مش موجود الصراحة عندي
معقول
دكتور.
مش موجود عندك؟
شكرا نسختي قديمة.
اوكي
وين عندي دكتور إلي ساعة بدور كمان
انا
ما
معناته
عندي.
كتاب، انتوا جايبين كتاب ثاني معناته. احنا قلنا
لا، هي
لكم ها؟
نسخ قديمة بتكون بس
لا
هي
قلنا
نفس
لكم الفورث اديشن، الفورث اديشن مش الثيرد اديشن. انتوا جايبين ثيرد اديشن كان، يعني ثيرد اديشن بتختلف عن الفورث اديشن، المفروض يكون معكم فورث اديشن. اوكي نمبر 3. Yes, number 3. Languages are now disappearing at a rapid rate. What do you mean by rate? Rapid rate. What do you mean by rate?
معدل سريع.
Yes. Rapid rate يعني معدل. Yes. And languages are now disappearing at what? Quick rate or rapid rate. Next. Next. Experts estimate that the world loses a language every 2 weeks. What do you mean by estimate?
يقدرون.
Yes. Yes. The last one. Anfal.
In one study, researchers looked at bilingual adults. Some of the adults learned a second language when they were children, and some learned a second language as adults, are able to speak 2 languages.
Bilingual يعني you speak 2 languages. مثلا if you speak Arabic and English نقدر نقول عنك انك bilingual. If you speak 3 languages نقول trilingual. Okay, trilingual. إذا bilingual means speaking 2 languages at the same time. يعني when you speak Arabic and English يعني you are speaking what? نسميك you are bilingual. Okay? You are bilingual. Okay. Now let's start reading the passage here, languages and language diversity. Ines? Yes.
Language. Yes. Language and language diversity. A language is a system of second graders or characters used to communication languages. Another language family is Tibetan, which include Chinese, Burmese, and Tibet. The Afro-Asiatic family include Arabic, Hebrew, and Amharic. There are about
وين تقرأت يا إيناس؟
first paragraph, language and language diversity.
Yes.
طيب دكتور.
بس أنا شايف مش زي اللي عندي.
طيب
أعيديها مرة ثانية.
A language is a system of second graders
sounds, yes.
or characters used to communicate.
Gestures, sounds, gestures or characters, yes.
Gestures or characters used to communication languages. أكمل؟
بس مش موجود عندي تحكي يا بنت. جماعة الكتاب القديم. اوكي. او third edition.
يمكن دكتور.
ما تختلف يس.
كملوا. تمام.
A language is a system of sounds, gestures, or
مش نفس اللي عندي.
دكتور لو ترفق لنا الكتاب على الإيليرنينج اللي موجود عندك.
ايش؟
لو ترفق لنا يعني الكتاب على الإيليرنينج إذا موجود عندك لأنه أغلبنا دفيته قديمة.
حاطلنا من أول فصل.
ما هو في بي دي اف، بعرفش اذا بي دي اف فيه. ما فيهوش بي دي اف المشكله. ولا وديتك يا زمان بس ما فيش بي دي اف فيه. يعني دورت ما لقيتش بي دي اف. يس أنفال كملي.
A language is a system of sounds, gestures, or characters used to communicate ideas and feelings. There are roughly 6,000 languages in the world today. Some languages are used by millions of people. Others have only a few speakers.
Thank you. Then what's a language? A language is a system of sounds, gestures, or characters. What do you mean by sounds? Huh?
Sound.
What do you mean by sounds?
صوت دكتور.
Right, yes. Gestures,
الإيماءات.
imat, or characters. What do you mean by characters here?
الحروف.
Yes, حروف, yes. إذا language عبارة عن system of sounds, gestures, or characters. كلهم يعني لما نقول sounds, gestures, or characters. يعني بنقول system of sounds, okay? Used to communicate ideas and feelings. When you speak a language with somebody, what are you doing? Huh? When you speak with your friend, مثلا, what are you doing in this case? Huh?
Communicate idea and
Yes.
feeling.
Then you are communicating your ideas and your feeling to your friend. Okay. Then in this case, when you speak a language with somebody, it means that you use the language to communicate your ideas and feelings. To convey your ideas and what you feel. How many languages are there in the world? And roughly 6,000 languages in the world today. Then we have nearly 6,000 languages in the world today. Some languages are used by millions of people. Yani many people or millions of people speak this language. Whether have only a few speakers. Other languages are spoken by what? By a few people. Now, what languages are spoken by millions of people?
Universal languages like English and French.
English, French,
Chinese.
Chinese, yes.
Indian ممكن.
Yes. Urdu سموه Urdu. إذن French, English, ممكن Russian, okay. Italian, Spanish. And these languages are spoken by millions of people. برضو العربي كمان. Arabic is spoken by millions of people. في عندنا few languages spoken by by a few people. طبعا we don't know these languages. They are not popular. They are not popular. Nobody maybe knows about them. Okay. Next paragraph. Next.
أقرأ دكتور.
Yes, Sarah.
All language have rules for forming words and for ordering these words into beneficial sentences. صح دكتور؟ هيك قرأتها.
Meaningful sentences. Yes.
Meaningful sentences. In written language, meaning is expressed through a system of characters and rules for combining those characters.
Combining. Yes.
أكمل دكتور.
Yes, yes.
In spoken language, meaning is expressed through a system of sound and rules of combining those sounds. Many hearing impaired people use sign language, in which gestures do the work. Gestures do the work sound system of spoken language.
System, not system, system. Okay. طبعا بتعرفوا كل languages have ايش؟ rules for forming words يعني for making words or for ordering those words into meaningful sentences. إذن all the languages in the world have what? Rules for making words and for ordering those words. مثلا عندنا بالانجلش في عندنا الاوردر تبع السنتنس subject verb object subject verb object. مثلا I bought a car. Hi, this is the order of English sentence. بالعربي في عندنا two types of what? Of orders. ممكن we start the sentence with the verb أو start the sentence with a noun. يسموها الجملة الفعلية والاسمية بالعربي. نقول مثلا جاء الطالب. وهنا الجملة ايش؟ verbal. شو يعني verbal؟
جملة فعلية.
فعلية.
أنا بلش فعل.
لو قلنا مثلا الطالب جاء هنا
جملة
nominal.
اسمية.
nominal. بينما الانجليش فيها بس only ايش؟ تبدا بايش الانجليش؟
الانجليش ببلش دكتور subject زائد verb زائد object.
طبعا subject شو بكون؟ بكون noun.
subject بكون noun.
noun او pronoun. noun او pronoun. بينما بالعربي في عندنا two orders للsentences.
فعل وفاعل ومفعول به.
هنا verbal ونومينال زي ما حكينا. إذا كل languages have rules. Why do we have these rules? To form or to make words. مش بس forming words برضو ordering these words. يعني نحط الwords مع بعضهم to make ايش؟ To have meaningful sentence. Meaningful يعني؟
ذات معنى.
Yes, sentences with meaning. Sentences with meaning. In written languages, written طبعا مش spoken كان مش spoken written languages. Meaning is expressed through a system of characters and rules for combining those characters. إذا written languages when we write يعني how do we express our meaning or the meaning of our what we write through ايش؟ system of characters اللي هو قلنا عنهم ايش؟ الالفابيتس. إذا في عندنا system of characters and rules. rules مشان نعمل combining. طبعا في عندنا السنتنس فيها words والwords لازم يكون بيناتهم combining عشان ايش؟ to give meaning. اوكي؟ مثلا في عندنا in English the boy طبعا هاي ايش عندنا؟ او شو نقول the لحالها article. البوي noun came verb late adverb. أنا عبارة عن إيش؟ words كل keyword لحاله. How do we make them sentence? By using rules. في عنا rules. شو rules بيقول؟ إنه we start the sentence with the subject. Okay? يعني we don't say مثلا came the boy or the student late. Okay? يعني we don't start with the verb. إذا شو rules in English؟ إنه say that you should start the sentence with what? With the subject, not with the verb. إذا الأوردر تبع السنتنس شو بصير من أول بالسبجكت؟ The student. Okay. برضو after the subject ما بيجيش الادفيرب ويجي لنا ايش؟ the verb. نقول the student came. طبعا هاي الجملة بتعطي معنى the student came. عندنا subject و verb. بس ممكن نلحق فيها late ولا adverb. اوكي. فاللانجوج عبارة عن ايش؟ a group of words. A group of words. طبعا هاي الwords بتكون لها meaning. These words are combined. في عندنا combination. شو يعني combination؟ ها؟ What do you mean combination؟ ها؟
ضم.
Yes. لأنهم بسموا لهي connection. Okay. Connection. إذن how do we express meaning of our words؟ أول شيء في عندنا characters اللي هم نقول عنهم الألفابيتس مع ليش؟ مع الرولز. يعني الألفابيتس لحالهم ما بكفوش، لازم يكون عندنا rules عشان to make ايش؟ to make meaningful sentences. هاي بالنسبه للريتن لانجوج. السبوكن لانجوجز كيف المينينج اكسبريسد؟ through a system of sounds. اذا في عندنا sounds. اوكي؟ system of sounds. بينما بالريتن شو بكون system of ايش؟ of characters. بينما بالسبوكن لانجوج بكون system of ايش؟ of sounds. برضه في عندنا rules لcombining these sounds. اذا هون في عندنا two types of languages. في عندك spoken language يعني the language you speak، وفي عندنا written the language اللي هي the language which we write. كيف نعمل express the meaning in spoken and written؟ بالwritten through ايش؟ characters. شو قلنا على characters؟ لان الالفابتس.
alphabet.
طبعا في عندنا rules عشان نعمل combination between these alphabets. The spoken language how do we express our meaning؟ through ايش؟ sounds. مظبوط؟ برضه
sound.
في عندنا rules لcombining the sounds. لحالهم الsounds برضه لحالهم بكفوش. لازم يكون عندنا rules for combining what? The sounds. Many hearing impaired people. شو يعني hearing impaired people؟ What do you mean by hearing impaired people?
أشخاص يعني أشخاص بس دكتور ضعيفين السمع يعني ما بيسمعوا.
لو بسموهم الصم يعني الصم. اوكي والبكم تعرفوهم الصم البكم. يعني هو
Yes.
cannot ايش؟ هو cannot speak.
Who cannot speak
هو cannot speak.
and
طيب.
cannot hear.
إذا البيبل عندهم hearing impaired يعني cannot hear بيستعملوا الساين لانجوج. شو يعني الساين لانجوج؟
لغة الإشارة.
لغة الإشارة. طيب how is this language used؟ في عندنا فيها gestures. شو يعني gestures؟ زي ما قلنا يعني what do the people who have problems in their hearing what do they use to communicate their message? Through what? Gestures. Through gestures. طبعا عندنا بالسبوكن لانجوج بالنسبه طبعا الاوردينري بيبل شو احنا بنستخدمه؟ بالسبوكن لانجوج في عندنا الساوند سيستم. بينما بالنسبه الهيرنج امبيرد بيبل شو بيستخدموا؟ الساين لانجوج. طبعا الساين لانجوج هنا فيها جستشرز. جستشرز تعمل عمل ايش؟ الساوندز بالسبوكن لانجوج. واضح؟ اذا الديف بيبل الديف يعني هم الهيرنج impaired people use sign language. بس الفرق بين sign language والسبوكن language in spoken language we use ايش؟ sounds. لانه الهيرنج impaired ما بيسمعوا فبنستخدم sounds. شو language what does this language use؟ تستخدم ايش؟ gestures. هاي الجستشرز تعمل عمل ايش؟ الساوندز بالسبوكن لانجوج. اوكي؟ اذا بتشوفوا الامبيرد الهيرنج امبيرد بيستخدموا اشارات بالكلام. ليش؟ because they cannot hear the sounds. So they use ايش؟ gestures. بينما بالسبوكن لانجوج what is used اللي هو الساوندز. واضح؟ هاي بالنسبه لايش؟ للديفرنس between spoken language والsign language. إذا في عندنا difference between sign language and what? Spoken language. شو الديفرنس بالنسبة between sign language and spoken language؟ what's the difference?
Spoken language has alphabet or the
Spoken languages we use a sounds. We use sounds.
sounds and character.
بينما بالsign language what do we use؟
Sign language.
What do we use in sign language؟
Gestures.
Gestures. طبعا gestures تختلف عن الساوندز. اوكي؟ gestures زي ما حكينا قبل شويه gestures. Okay. Then this is the difference between sign language and spoken language. Next paragraph.
Can I, Doctor?
Yes, Sukaina.
Yes. Word order is more important in English than it is in some other languages, such as Russian. The sound system is very important in Chinese and in many languages spoken in West Africa. Kamal?
No, thank you. Okay. No. Word order is more important in English than it is in some other language, such as Russian. شو قلنا على الويرد اوردر؟ What do you mean by word order?
word order يعني ترتيب كلمات.
يعني زي ما قلنا قبل شوي بالانجلش مثلا. What do we start the sentence with?
إنه element of sentence, Doctor.
Elements يعني subject بعدين verb
Subject, verb, object.
بعدين complement. الكويشن برضه له different order الكويشن بالانجلش برضه. الاوردر بالانجلش بالنسبه للكويشنز نبدا بالاكزوليري اوكي بعدين السبجكت بعدين المين فيرب هاي الاوردر اوكي اذا وورد اوردر بالانجلش is ايش is more important than ايش than other language زي الرشن يعني if you don't know the order of the English language then it may be difficult for you to understand it or to speak it مش زي الرشن مثلا اوكي The sound system بالChinese is very important. And in many languages spoken in West Africa. إذا برضه sound system is very important in Chinese. Than إيش and other إيش languages in West Africa. لاحظت إنه كل اللغات لها إيش ميزات مثلا بالإنجليش word order is more important than إيش than مثلا رشن مثلا الورد اوردر is not important الساوند مثلا بالتشاينيز ولانجوج بويست افريكا برضه more important than ايش than other languages لان كل language لها ايش something which is ايش which is more important than other things okay next paragraph next
Can I, Doctor, again?
Sukaina, yes.
Yes, Doctor. Languages are always changing, but they change very slowly. People invent new words for their language, borrow words from other languages, and changing the meaning of words as needed. For example, in English, word byte was invented by computer specialists in 1959. The English word tomato was borrowed from Notel,
yes.
an American Indian language spoken in Mexico. The English word one referred to food in general.
Thank you. إذا بتعرفوا إن language changing يعني are always changing. فيش عندنا fixed language. Language is not fixed. إذا it is إيش changing. طبعا التشينج بيكون very slowly. إذا languages are changing but إيش very slowly. طبعا people invent new words for their language. شو يعني invent؟
اخترعوها وأخذوها.
Yes. Create يعني create words for their language. طبعا ما احيانا شو بيعملوا borrow words from other languages. borrow يعني they take words from other languages. واحيانا شو بيعملوا they change the meaning of words as needed. words برضه بصير عليها change of the meaning. في عندنا examples طبعا اللي حكيناه. الانجليش word bite مثلا هاي bite ما كانتش باللغه bite. was invented after what? بعد the computer invention. After the invention of the computer. بال 1959. اذا كلمه بايت it was not in the English language. بس شو عملوا له؟ صار invention. ليش؟ لانه صار في عندنا ايش؟ كمبيوتر طبعا بال 1959. اذا بنقدر نقول انه الوورد هاي invented. اوكي invented. الانجليش وورد توميتو was borrowed. هاي الكلمه توميتو borrowed. شو يعني borrowed؟ يعني taken from ايش؟ from في American Indian language. هاي spoken in Mexico. إذا التوميتو word هاي was borrowed from American Indian language spoken in Mexico. الانجليش word meat once referred to food in general. إذا meat كان في الزمان refers to ايش؟ meat in general. بينما شو صارت هنا؟ meat إلها ايش؟ صار عليها change للمينينج. اوكي اذا هنا في عندنا زي ما حكينا languages are changing والتشينج تبعهم very slow change. اوكي طبعا شو انواع التشينج باللانجوج؟ ممكن زي ما حكينا invent new words زي البايت انه this word was invented in 1959. في عندنا some words borrowed from other languages مثلا tomato was borrowed from American Indian language spoken in Mexico. والنوع الثالث من التشينج له ايش؟ change the meaning of words زي meat مثلا. meat كانت ايش؟ means معناتها food in general بينما صارت لها specific meaning. meat يعني the meat we eat not the food or the food in general. Then this is the kind of change that take place in languages. إذا نقول languages are not fixed, they are changing, but they are what? Changing slowly. كيف التشينج بكون؟ يا بكون inventing new words أو borrowing new words أو changing the meaning of what? Of words in the language. واضح؟ Okay. Next paragraph.
أقرأ دكتور.
Sarah, yes.
There are several major language families in the world. The language in each family are related, and scientists think that they came from the same parent family. Language families come in different sizes. شو تقرأ دكتور؟
Austronesian.
Austronesian family contains at least 500 languages, including Filipino, Malay, and Maori. The basic language spoken in northern Spain is the only member of its language family.
طبعا زي ما في عندنا families, language فيها families برضه. اوكي اذا في عندنا many major language families in the world. اذا language تكون عباره عن families زي ما احنا عندنا families. اوكي طبعا the languages in each family are related. كل language ضمن الفاميلي بتكون related. اوكي طبعا scientists think that these languages come from the same parent family. same parent family يعني زي الاب والام بالفاميليز. اذا اللانجوج هاي ريليتد لانجوج تيجي من نفس ايش؟ البيرنت فاميلي. طبعا بتكون هاي الفاميليز language families different size يعني فيها they have different sizes يعني numbers are different. مثلا في عندنا الاسترونيشيان family. How many languages does this family have? 500 languages. إذا في عندنا 500 languages بالفاميلي اسمها استرونيشيان family. يعني زي الفاميلي والعيال بفاميلي. اوكي طبعا شو هي الفاميلي اللانجوج بالفاميلي بالاسترونيشيان؟ منهم فيلبينو، ملاي، وموري. برضه في عندنا نوع من الفاميلي ثاني اسمه الباسك لانجوج. هاي كمان برضه باسك لانجوج. هاي spoken North Spain is the only member of its language family. هاي ما فيهاش يعني members بس هي واحد ايش؟ هي نفسها فاميلي بدون members. اللي هي الباسك. هاي الباسك spoken in Northern Spain بسبين. طبعا هي تعتبر ايش؟ language family بس ما فيهاش ايش؟ ما فيهاش what we call members للفاميلي، بس هي نفسها تعتبر family language family. Okay. Any question about this so far? Any question? Okay, if you don't have any questions, so we stop here today.
Thank you.
Okay.
يعطيك العافية دكتور، بس سؤال
حبيبي.
صغير.
امم
المد كم سؤال حيكون؟
المد
المد
25.
25 سؤال. كم الوقت حيكون دكتور؟ ولا لسه ما تحدد؟
اعتقد نص ساعة بكون، اعتقد، بس واحد انا ما بعرفش بالضبط.
دكتور على الجدول هو 50 دقيقة.
تمام يسلم دكتور.
بس احنا مش ملتزمين بالجدول لانه الامتحانات على الوقت، هي مش على يعني امتحان بده نص ساعة، اذا بتعطيه 40 دقيقة بصير سؤال، بصيرش امتحان. اوكي؟
اوكي
لا،
دكتور.
احنا بنحط امتحان مشان يقيس قدرات الطلاب. اوكي؟
تمام دكتور.
لانه اعطي مثلا 25 سؤال واعطيهم 60 دقيقة، هون بصير مش امتحان، بصير هذا هوم ورك. اوكي؟ هون بالحالة هي ما بتقيس. طالب لازم يخلص امتحان بفترة محدودة. اوكي؟ عشان ما يصيرش مجال للغش، كل واحد يصير يطلب من الثاني الأجوبة اللي عنده.
علامته من
أبداً.
كم حتكون دكتور؟
نعم؟
العلامة من كم حتكون؟
25.
اوكي لأنه كان